Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. You can give me the host access. Yamayayedam puru rupaya shajat vibharti bhuya kshapayatya vikrayah yadbheda buddhi sadivatma dusthaya Ramatma tantram bhagavam pratimmahi. Saishalokan atichandaveko vikarshasitvam khalu kalayana bhutani bhutair anumeyavitattu ghanavalir-vayurivavisatya. My dear Lord, your absolute authority cannot be directly experienced, but one can guess by seeing the activities of the world that everything is being destroyed in due course of time. The force of time is very strong, and everything is being destroyed by something else, just as one animal is being eaten by another animal. Time scatters everything exactly as the wind scatters clouds in the sky. The process of destruction is going on according to the law of nature. Nothing within this material world can be permanent, although scientists, philosophers, workers, and everyone else are trying to make things permanent. One foolish scientist recently declared that eventually life will be made permanent through science. Some so-called scientists are also trying to manufacture living entities within the laboratory. Thus, in one way or another, everyone is busy denying the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and rejecting the supreme authority of the Lord. However, the Lord is so powerful that he destroys everything in the form of death. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarva Harashchaham. I am all devouring death. The Lord is just like death to the atheists, for he takes away everything they accumulate in the material world. Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlada, always denied the existence of the Lord, and he tried to kill the 5-year-old boy due to the boy's unflinching faith in God. However, in due course of time, the Lord appeared as Narasimhadev and killed Hiranyakashipu in the presence of his son. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, note 13.47, this killing process is natural. Jeevo jeevasya jeevanam. One animal is food for another animal. A frog is eaten by a snake, or snake is eaten by a mongoose. The mongoose is eaten by another animal. In this way, the process of destruction goes on by the supreme will of the Lord. Although we do not see the hand of the Supreme Lord directly, we can feel the presence of that hand through the Lord's process of destruction. We can see the clouds scattered by the wind, although we cannot see how this is being done because it is not possible to see the wind. Similarly, although we do not directly see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can see that he controls the process of destruction. The destructive process is going on fiercely under the control of the Lord, but the atheists cannot see it. प्रमत्तमुच्चैरिति कृत्य चिन्तया प्रवृद्धलोभं विषयेषु लालसं त्वमप्रमत्ता सहसाभिपद्यसे क्षुल्लेलिहानो हिरविवाकुमन्तकः.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
You wanna do hosting? Host access Mataji, can I give?
You can give me Prabhuji.
I call regular call. Regular call ఇది no అది.
లేదు Prabhuji. యాక్చువల్గా నా చాంటింగ్ అయిపోయింది, సో ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ డూయింగ్ మై భాగవతం రీడింగ్ విచ్ ఇస్ పెండింగ్.
రెగ్యులర్ కాల్ కదా నేను ఓపెన్ చేసింది.
అవును Prabhuji.
Yeah. Can I give you host access Mataji?
Yes Prabhuji.
You can do Mataji today. Bhagavatam first canto 19th chapter is the last chapter. చదవండి.
Okay Prabhuji. You can give me host access and you can leave Prabhuji. I'll be here. మీరు host access ఇచ్చేసి you can leave Prabhuji. I'll manage that.
Jai. Thank you so much Mataji. Hare Krishna.
My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things. And they're always busy with the desire to do this or that. That is due to uncontrolled. Hi Krishna Samita Mataji.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Mataji. We're chanting చేస్తున్నారంటే you can chant and I will go on mute Mataji.
Oh.
చాంటింగ్ చేస్తున్నారా? ఏం చేస్తున్నారు?
ఏం లేదు మాతాజీ.
పనులు చేసుకుంటున్నారా?
పాప స్కూల్కి వెళ్తుంది, తనకి కొంచెం రెడీ చేస్తున్నాను.
ఓకే మాతాజీ, కంటిన్యూ. నా చాంటింగ్ అయిపోయింది. ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ రీడింగ్ మై భాగవతం, సో ఐల్ జస్ట్ కంటిన్యూ దట్. యూ కెన్ డూ యువర్ స్టఫ్ దెన్.
యా మాతాజీ, ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things, and they are always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed, the greed for material enjoyment. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your Lordship is always alert. Material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time you strike him, just as the snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him. Purport. Everyone is greedy and everyone makes plans for material enjoyment. In his lust for material enjoyment, the living entity is described as a madman, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार-विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Everything is enacted by the laws of nature, and these laws are under the direction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The atheists or unintelligent men do not know this. They are busy making their own plans, and big nations are busy expanding their empires. And yet we know that in due course of time, many empires have come into existence and been destroyed. Many aristocratic families were created by people in their extreme madness, but we can see that in course of time, those families and empires have all been destroyed. But still the foolish atheists do not accept the supreme authority of the law. Such foolish people unnecessarily concord their own duties without referring to the supreme authority of the law. The so-called political leaders are busy making plans to advance the material prosperity of their nation. But factually, these political leaders only want an exalted position for themselves. Due to their greed for material position, they falsely present themselves as leaders before the people and collect their votes, although they are completely under the grip of the laws of material nature. These are some of the faults of modern civilization. Without taking God consciousness and accepting the authority of the law, the living entities become ultimately confused and frustrated in their plan-making attempts. Due to their unauthorized plans for economic development, the price of commodities is rising daily all over the world, so much so that it has become difficult for the poorer classes, and they are suffering the consequences. And due to lack of Krishna consciousness, people are being fooled by so-called leaders and plan makers. Consequently, the sufferings of the people are increasing according to the laws of nature, which are backed by the Lord. Nothing can be permanent in this material world, therefore everyone should be allowed to take shelter of the Absolute in order to be saved. In this regard, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram yajya tapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim ricchati. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. If one wants peace of mind and tranquility in society, he must accept the fact that the real enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is proprietor of everything all over the universe, and he is the supreme friend of all living entities as well. By understanding this, people can become happy and peaceful individually and collectively. Hare Krishna. Raju Prabhuji వచ్చేసారా స్కూల్ నుంచి?
Yes, Mataji.
Era? Okay. You want to chant till others join? You can chant, Prabhuji. I just finished chanting, so I was just reading my practice.
Yes, Mataji. We'll start at 8:05, something like that, Mataji. 8:05.
You want to host or I should continue?
If you're okay, it's okay, Mataji. If you're
I'm okay, Prabhuji, today.
Yeah, okay means I can continue.
Okay, Prabhuji.
I'm also okay. Free only, but if you don't have.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे
Prabhuji, I'll start the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll start with the 19th chapter of first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is not 19th chapter is called The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Suta Goswami said, while returning home, the king Maharaja Parikshit felt that the act he had committed against the faultless and powerful Brahmana was heinous and uncivilized. Consequently, he was distressed. Purport. The pious king regretted his accidental improper treatment of the powerful Brahmana, who was faultless. Such repentance is natural for a good man like the king, and such repentance delivers a devotee from all kinds of sins accidentally committed. The devotees are naturally faultless. Accidental sins committed by a devotee are sincerely regretted, and by the grace of the Lord, all sins unwillingly committed by a devotee are burnt in the fire of repentance. Hare Krishna. Samyukta Mataji, are you ready?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please read.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. I now desire without reservation that the calamity come now, for in this way I may be freed from the further sinful action and not commit such an offense again. Purport. The Supreme Lord enjoins that Brahmanas and cows must be given all protection. The Lord is himself very much inclined to do good to Brahmanas and cows. Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Maharaja Parikshit knew all this, and thus he concluded that his insulting a powerful Brahmana was certainly to be punished by the laws of the Lord. And he was expecting something very difficult in the very near future. He therefore desired the imminent calamity to fall on him and not on his family members. A man's personal misconduct affects all his family members. Therefore, Maharaja Parikshit desired the calamity to fall on him alone. By suffering personally, he would be restrained from future sins, and at the same time, the sin which he had committed would be counteracted so that his descendants would not suffer. That is the way a responsible devotee thinks. The family members of a devotee also shares the effects of a devotee's service unto the Lord. Maharaja Prahalada saved his demon father by his personal devotional service. A devotee's son in the family is the greatest boon or blessing of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Lavanya Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. I am uncivilized and sinful due to my neglect of Brahmanical culture, God consciousness and cow protection. Therefore, I wish that my kingdom, strength and riches burn up immediately by the fire of the Brahmana's wrath, so that in the future I may not guided by such inauspicious attitudes. Purport. Progressive human civilization is based on Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and protection of cows. All economic development of the state by trade, commerce, agriculture, and industries must be fully utilized in relation to the above principles. Otherwise, all so-called economic development becomes a source of degradation. Degradation. Cow protection means feeding the Brahmanical culture. Cow protection means feeding the Brahmanical culture, which leads towards God consciousness, and thus perfection of human civilization is achieved. The, the age of Kali aims at killing the higher principles of life, and although Maharaja Parikshit strongly resisted the domination of the personality of Kali within the world, the influence of the age of Kali came at an opportune moment. And even a strong king like Maharaja Parikshit was induced to disregard the Brahmanical culture due to a slight provocation of hunger and thirst. Maharaja Parikshit lamented the accidental incident, and he desired that all his kingdom, strength, and accumulation of wealth would be burned up for not being engaged in Brahmanical culture, etc. Where wealth and strength are not engaged in the advancement of Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and cow protection, the state and home are surely doomed by providence. If we want peace and prosperity in the world, we should take lessons from this verse. Every state and every home must endeavor to advance the cause of Brahmanical culture for self-purification, God consciousness, and for self-realization, and cow protection for getting sufficient milk and the best food to continue a perfect civilization. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Sandhya Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. While the king was thus repenting, he received news of his imminent death, which would be due to the bite of a snake bird, occasioned by the curse spoken by the said son. The king accepted this as good news, for it would be the cause of his indifference toward worldly things. Purport. Real happiness is achieved by spiritual existence or by cessation of the repetition of birth and death. One can stop the repetition of birth and death only by going back to Godhead. In the material world, even by attaining the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, one cannot get rid of the conditions of repeated birth and death, but still we do not accept the path of attaining perfection. The path of perfection frees one from all material attachments, and thus one becomes fit to enter into the spiritual kingdom. Therefore, those who are materially poverty-stricken are better candidates than those who are materially prosperous. Maharaja Parikshit was a great devotee of the Lord and a bona fide candidate for entering into the kingdom of God. But even though he was so, his material assets as emperor of the world were setbacks to perfect attainment of his rightful status as one of the associates of the Lord in the spiritual sky. As a devotee of the Lord, he could understand that the cursing of the Brahmana boy, although unwise, was a blessing upon him, being the cause of detachment from worldly affairs, both political and social. Shamika Muni also, after regretting the incident, conveyed the news to the king as a matter of duty, so that the king would be able to prepare himself to go back to Godhead. Shamika Muni sent news to the king that foolish Shringi, his son, although a powerful Brahmana boy, unfortunately had misused his spiritual power by cursing the king unwarrantedly. The instant of the king's garlanding the Muni was not sufficient cause for being cursed to death, but since there was no way to retract the curse, the king was informed to prepare for death within a week. Both Shamika Muni and the king were self-realized souls. Shamika Muni was a mystic and Maharaja Parikshit was a devotee. Therefore, there was no difference between them in self-realization. Neither of them was afraid of meeting death. Maharaja Parikshit could have gone to the Muni to beg his pardon, but the news of imminent death was conveyed to the king with so much of regret by the Muni that the king did not want to shame the Muni further by his presence there. He decided to prepare himself for his imminent death and find out the way to go back to Godhead. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji, I'll give it to Raju Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Raju Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. The life of a human being in a chance to prepare oneself to go back to Godhead or to get rid of the material existence, the repetition of birth and death. Thus, in the system of Varnashrama Dharma, every man and woman is trained for this purpose. In other words, the system of Varnashrama Dharma is known also as Sanatana Dharma, or the eternal occupation. The system of Varnashrama Dharma prepares a man for going back to Godhead, and thus householder is ordered to go to the forest as a vanaprastha or vanaprastha to acquire complete knowledge, and then to take sannyasa prior to is inevitable death. Parikshit Maharaj was fortunate to get the 7-day notice to meet his inevitable death, but for the common man there is no definite notice. Although death is inevitable for all, foolish men forget this sure fact of death and neglect the duty of preparing themselves for going back to Godhead. They spoil their lives in animal propensities to eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. Such an irresponsible life is adopted by the people in the age of Kali because of a sinful desire to condemn Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and cow protection, for which the state is irresponsible. The state must employ revenue to advance these 3 items and thus educate the populace to prepare for death. The state which does so is the real welfare state. The state of India should better follow the examples of Maharaja Parikshit, the ideal executive head, than to intimate other materialistic states which have no idea of the kingdom of Godhead. The ultimate goal of human life, deterioration of the ideals of Indian civilization, has brought about the deterioration of civic life, not only in India but also abroad. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, I have one question, Prabhuji. Yeah, regarding like Prabhuji, I don't know whether it's related to here or when see when so we are all Vaishnavas, right? Prabhuji, means we are so Vaishnavas means above the Brahmins, or we should be Brahmanical nature, or so my question is, Prabhuji, means there are 4 Varna, Prabhuji, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, means we are all Vaishnavas, right? So Vaishnavas means we are all Brahmins, Brahmanical nature, or we can be any nature of these 4 Varna.
Vaishnavas means above these 4, Prabhuji.
Okay.
But we are not Vaishnavas. We are trying to become Vaishnavas, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should always see others as Vaishnavas who are practicing it, but ourselves, we should not think that we are Vaishnavas. Huh?
Okay.
And that is the mood should be, Prabhu, but always Vaishnavas is above Brahmanas, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is why our Varnashram is Daivi Varnashram. It is not Varnashram.
Yeah,
earlier, whole world was Varnashram only. Okay. That is why you find many people who are following Shaivites and God Durga. Why? Because their inclinations are different, Prabhu. So what we say, they were always given a chance that you can do public, Homa, Yagya, Yantras also, which mainly consists of this Shaiva and Durgaite. Okay. Shakti sect they call Shaivite and Shaktiite. Okay, they were also there. Generally, populace belong to that categories. Vaishnavas were generally separate, Prabhu. Many times they're always different. You find very minimum kingdoms who has Vaishnava kings, even earlier days also, but they would be very, very powerful. In India, in the recent history, you can find in Manipur, that is a Vaishnava king. And what we say, one more. There are two kingdoms which is from Vaishnava, which forms Vaishnava kings. And before that, this Pandavas, 5,000 years before, you find Vaishnava kings. And some from Rajasthan, they're also Vaishnava kings. So very, very few Vaishnava kings you find, but many Shaivite kings you find. And even before that, Prabhuji, 5,000 years before, everything, your whole world was Shaivite, Shaivite and kind of, Shakti based. I have gone deep, Prabhu. I have gone out of the topic. Yes, Vaishnavas are beyond this thing, Prabhuji. And the Varnashrama which we follow is Daivi Varnashrama.
So nature of the Vaishnavas, like kind of Brahmanical nature, or Prabhuji, like any, it can be any Kshatriya or something like that, or
Prabhu,
So-
when it
so-
comes to Varnashrama, he will be an all-rounder. In the sense, if he has an inclinations of Brahmanical, he will preach. Preach in the sense, he will go more into the scriptures, Prabhu. If he has a Kshatriya mentality, he will serve it in the Krishna service, okay, in organizing the things. If he has a Vaishya, what is a Vaishya mentality, he will do all the accountancy for the same Daivi Varnashrama. Okay, if he has a skill, he will prepare a lot of things, for the same, what is a Daivi Varnashrama. Understood, Prabhu? Having a specific set of skills is not a problem with Vaishnava Dharma, Prabhu.
okay.
They can have it, okay?
Okay.
Because that is the, what is the easiest way by which they can serve the Lord.
Okay.
So the underlying theme is serving the Lord, okay? According to the Swabhava which you have. That is what Vaishnava, this, what is this? Daivi Varnashrama all includes. But Prabhu, in normal Varnashrama, it's not mandatory that you should become devotee. Okay?
Okay.
Even if you're a non-devotee, if you are a devotee of some other, demigod, it's okay. Because gradually you will become one day after many, many lives. But Daivi Varnashrama's goal is not that. Okay? It's direct path. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dhanatma.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Like Prabhu, meet అనేది.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. Purport. For a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planets, even the topmost Brahmaloka, is as desirable as Goloka Vrindavana, the abode of Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and original personality of Godhead. This earth is one of the innumerable material planets within the universe. And there are innumerable universes also within the compass of the Mahat Tattva. The devotees are told by the Lord and his representatives, the spiritual masters or acharyas, that not one of the planets within all the innumerable universes is suitable for the residential purpose of a devotee. The devotee always desires to go back home, back to Godhead, just to become one of the associates of Lord in the capacity of servitor, friend, parent, or conjugal lover of the Lord, either in one of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets or in Goloka Vrindavana, the planet of Lord Sri Krishna. All these planets are eternally situated in the spiritual sky, the Paravyoma, which is on the other side of casual ocean within the Mahat Tattva. Can you people understand this? What is this Mahat Tattva? Other side, this side? Do you all?
That's what I want to ask. Mahatattva Pradhanam Paravyoma. Can you
Of
please
the whole
explain?
sky, of the whole spiritual sky, material sky is only 1/4, and beyond that is the material sky is basically first made of Mahat Tattva. which includes all the elements which make up the material universes.
Okay. Other devotees, are you clear with what we were speaking about? You know the map correctly, no? Where we wanted to go and where we are. Everyone knows that? Hare Krishna? Okay. It seems whether they're listening or not, I don't know, but it's okay. I'll just complete this Mataji first,
Yes,
and then let
Prabhuji.
us. Yeah. Where am I? Mahatattva. Yeah. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of all this information due to his accumulated piety and birth in a high family of devotees, Vaishnavas, and thus he was not at all interested in the material planets. Modern scientists are very eager to reach the moon by material arrangements, but they cannot conceive of the higher planets of this universe. But a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit does not care a fig for the moon. For that matter, any of the material planets. So when he was assured of his death on a fixed date, he became more determined in transcendental loving service of the Lord by complete fasting on the bank of transcendental river Yamuna, which flows down by the capital of the Hastinapura in the Delhi state. Both the Ganges and Yamuna are Amartya, transcendental rivers, and the Yamuna is still more sanctified for following reasons. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. But if any devotees, they don't know the Mahatattva and all these things, so they can please ask. And
I don't know, Prabhuji.
We don't know,
Uh,
Prabhuji. Yeah, please
Okay.
explain, Prabhuji. Details.
Okay, Mataji, can you please show that figure? The diagram where we have the material and spiritual planets.
What do we write for that project? Search term?
Yeah. Material and spiritual worlds, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Or map to Goloka ಅನ್ಬೇಕು. ఇది కదా Prabhuji? ఇదేనా Prabhuji? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji, this is the one. This is the one. Sorry, I was talking on mute. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Mataji, can you please download this and give a higher pic of the same?
Yeah, that's what I was checking. Just this Goloka chart.
Yeah, Goloka chart. Yes. Anything more than this, Mataji?
That's what I'm trying, Prabhuji. Because that
Yeah.
resolution is not good.
Yeah, yeah. Understood. Okay, what we do is we will continue reading today, Mataji. Tomorrow I will explain if we get in any higher speed. Okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
About Mahat Tattva and all these things, Tattvas. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Then, but that is what to do with this. Okay? And before reading all this Mahat Tattva and all, how many of you have
It's in
a
Hindi,
faith?
Mataji.
Eh?
ఇండియా అంటే మనకి మెయిన్ చార్ట్ కావాలి నాకు.
అవి ఇంగ్లీష్ లో చూడండి కొంచెం.
ఓకే. యా ప్రభుజీ మీరేదో చెప్తున్నారు.
Yeah. We will start. Shall we start reading, Mataji, today?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah. Before this, I just wanted to ask, how many of you believe that, the thing which we are reading really has a substance? Like, if you come across some people who are more into the science, like archaeology and geology, they will not believe what we say. Okay? And you might also come across some doubts at some times. So how many of you have these doubts that, why all these things happen only in India? Or why all these sciences and spiritualism is taught only in India? Why not in other parts of the world? If you go down deep down, you will come to know actually. That is, this Bhagavatam or any of these scriptures we study not on the near past. When we talk about the scale of time, we always speak of thousands of years or millions of years. Okay? But the present day history, they only speak about 1,000 years or 2 or 3 or 4 at the max, not more than that. Okay?
Yes,
So
yes,
the, the difference between them and the science and the scriptures are, there is a time lag. Okay? We speak about millions and millions and trillions of years, but they only speak about thousands of years, 1 or 2 or the max the 5 or 6. Okay, not more than that. 1 degree increase in temperature, all their science will go back. The jet fuel which we fly in the aircrafts. Okay, it can sustain only minus 50 degrees Celsius. If in the strata or the stratosphere, the temperature increases by 5 degrees or decreases by 5 degrees, minus 55, all the fuel which is in the tanks will get blocked. So this is the science which we are living with. Don't keep more trust on it. Yes, to some extent, it made our life so easy that we should, really vouch for, but not to the extent that we deny the existence of God. No, because whenever the things of God and the nature comes, that is always having an upper hand than the material science. Okay, in a way, that if you go deep down, 3000 years, 1000 BC or 900, 800, 700 BC, 600 BC, 500 BC, you will come to know a name of the city where a civilization flourished. The name of that city was Roma. Now the modern day Rome, right? If you go down deep into their archaeological evidences, you will come to know they have taken their inspiration from Greek Plato and Aristotle. And where they have taken their inspiration from, this Aristotle and Plato, they always speak about something known as an island. And that island, they call it as Atlantis, and we call it as Dwaraka. But the descriptions of both the islands are same. There is no difference between them. And that is the reason these Romans, they have named their city after the name of Roma. That is nothing but our Ram. Actually, if you see, there is pronunciation because of the temperature, it becomes different. Okay, and not only that, they are inspired by Ramayana even more. Like just beside the opposite city to the Rome is Ravenna. If if you have seen the geography of that place, because that is also Ravenna is a place of caves. Okay, And if you go and see the descriptions of these caves and this caval, what is it, descriptions inside the caves, you will come to know about 3 people or 5 people, and a story about those people who don't know, no one could decipher it till now. So whenever we speak about the scriptures and all, the scale of the time will be very, very high. And it is said that, even in the Greek literature, you will find that gods and humans lived together those times. We also say the same, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if you go deep, you will find an oneness in these differences. But the only thing, when these capitalists and communists and other people, they wanted to have a capture on this world. First of all, they have removed this reincarnation philosophy from the Christianity only. Who is that? Constantine, the second wife to Constantine, I guess. She's the one who removed this, the story of rebirth, because it doesn't suit her. So this is how things come. Please, whenever you come across any of these people, who are very much into the science, if they are open, only then debate with them. Else, don't even listen to them. It's not worth it. Okay. So whenever we speak about this Varna, Shrama or other things, we speak about 5,000 years, 4,000 years, 3,000 years BC. Just keep this thing always in the mind. Am I clear to every devotee who is in the group?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So whenever we speak about the scriptures,
Yes,
we
Prabhuji.
always speak in the scale of time, which is not even imaginable to our archaeologists and the science, so-called science. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Akincham Prabhu, are you available to read?
Yes, Mother.
Please read.
Yeah, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The river by which the king sat to fast carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and the tulsi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the 3 worlds inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit, just after receiving the news of his death within 7 days, at once retired from the family life and shifted himself to the sacred bank of Yamuna river. Generally, it is said that king took shelter on the banks of the Ganges, but according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the king took shelter. One second, something. Yeah, generally it is said that king took shelter on the bank of the Ganges, but according to Srila Goswami, the king took shelter on the bank of Yamuna. Srila Jiva Goswami's statement appears to be more accurate because of the geographical situation. Maharaj Parikshit resided in his capital Hastinapur, situated near the present Delhi, and the river Yamuna flows down past the city. Naturally, the king would take shelter of the river Yamuna, because she was flowing his palace door, and as far as sanctity is concerned, the river Yamuna is more directly connected with Lord Krishna than the Ganges. The Lord sanctified the river Yamuna from the beginning of his transcendental pastimes in the world. While his father Vasudeva was crossing the Yamuna with the baby Lord Krishna for the safe place at Gokula on the other banks of the river from Mathura, the Lord fell down in the river, and by the dust of his lotus feet, the river at once became sanctified. It is especially mentioned herein that Maharaj Parikshit took shelter of that particular river, which is beautifully flowing, carrying the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna mixed with the tulsi leaves. Lord Krishna's lotus feet are always besmeared with the tulsi leaves, and thus, as soon as his lotus feet contact the water of the Ganges and Yamuna, the river became at once sanctified. The Lord, however, contacted the river Yamuna more than the Ganges. According to Varaha Purana, as quoted by the Srila Jiva Goswami, there is no difference between the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna. But when the water of the Ganges is sanctified 100 times, it is called as Yamuna. Similarly, it is said in the scriptures that 1000 names of Vishnu are equal to one name of Rama, and 3 names of Rama are equal to one name of Krishna. Very good. Thank you.
Sapan Prabhu, are you available to read?
Yes, Mataji, my wife will read today. I'm driving.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Please.
So I should read the purport, right?
Translation and purport.
Translation and purport. Thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of a sage. Purport. The water of the Ganges sanctifies all the 3 worlds, including the gods and the demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the fountainhead of the principle of the Vishnu Tattva, and therefore, shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by a king unto a Brahmana. Maharaja Parikshit, therefore, decided to meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, who is Mukunda, or the giver of liberations of all description. The banks of Ganges or the Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Maharaja Parikshit freed himself from all sorts of material association and meditated upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. To meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. The conditions of the material world are so made that one has to commit sins willingly or unwillingly. And the best example is Maharaja Parikshit himself, who was a recognized sinless pious king, but he also became a victim of an offense, even though he was ever unwilling to commit such a mistake. He was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverences of life become favorable. The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sin in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of Lord without deviation. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress toward the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if there are accidental sins committed by the devotee, the Lord saves the surrendered soul from all sins, as confirmed in all scriptures.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Swapadamulam bhajata priyasya tyaktaanyabhavasya hariparesha vikarma yachotpatitam kathanchit dhunoti sarvam hriti sannivishtaha. Hare Krishna. Has everybody completed reading? Is there anybody who is pending? Chandramali Prabhu, can you read?
Yeah.
You can read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yeah, please read, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. Purport. When Maharaja Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great-minded sages who could follow the importance of the occasion all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Maharaja Parikshit and not to take a birth of pilgrimage, because all of them were competent enough to sanctify the places of the pilgrimage. Common men go to pilgrimage sites to get themselves purified of all sins. Thus, the places of pilgrimage become overburdened with the sins of the others. But when such sages visit overburdened places of pilgrimage, they sanctify the places by their presence. Therefore, the sages who came to meet Maharaj Parikshit were not very much interested in getting themselves purified like common men, but on the play of taking a bath in that place, they came to meet Maharaja Parikshit because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. All of them wanted to take advantage of great occasion. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think everybody has completed reading. We'll go with the KUNTI MAHARANI prayers. Laltman Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Do you know where we are?
Yeah. Yesterday we were at 37, right? The Friday we were at this Shlokana, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. 37.
Yeah. Okay. So I request every one of you to go with synonyms and translation first. Okay. I will read the synonyms first. Please read it like that only. The motive why we are doing the synonyms is everyone will try to recite it the way it is. Okay. Not our comfortable way, but the way it is. That's the reason why we are doing the synonyms and translation.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I will just read it once. Okay. No need to repeat after me. But after that, you also will go synonyms and translation like our regular thing. Our regular procedure. Api, if, adya, today, nah, us, tvam, you, svakrita, self-executed, ihita, all duties, prabho, oh my lord, jihasasi, giving up, swith, possibly, suhrudaha, intimate friends, anujivinaha, living at the mercy of, yesham, of whom, na, nor, cha, and anyat, anyone else, bhavantaha, your, padambujat, from the lotus feet, parayanam, dependent, rajasu, unto the kings, yojita, engaged in, amhasam, enmity. Whenever there is dah, na, please spell it like daha. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Please go ahead now, everyone.
Yes. Synonyms: api, if, adya, today, naha, us, tvam, you, swakrita, self-executed, ihita, all duties, prabho, O my lord, jihasasi, giving up, swith, possibly, suhrida, intimate friends, anujivina, living at the mercy of, yesham, of whom, na, nor, cha, and, anyat, anyone else, bhavata, your, pada ambujat, from the lotus feet, parayanam, dependent, rajasu, unto the kings, yojita, engaged in, amhasam, enmity. Samyukta Mataji, translation.
Yes, Mataji. Translation. O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us. Hare Krishna.
Ramreddy Prabhu unnara?
Unnar Mataji.
Yeah. Prabhuji, synonyms.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. Api, if Adya today, Naha as Tvam you Swakrita self-executed, Ihita all duties, Prabhu, O my Lord, Jihasasi giving up, Swith possibly, Suhrida intimate friends, Anujivinaha living at the mercy of, Esham of whom, Na Nar Cha and Anyat anyone else, Bhavatha your Pada Ambujat from the lotus feet, Parayanam dependent, Rajasu unto the kings, Yojita engaged in, Hasam enmity. Hare Krishna.
Sandhya Mataji translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Next.
Translation. O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us.
Thank you. Lavanya Mataji, synonyms.
Yes, ma'am. Happy if Adya today, na, as, tvam, you, swakrita, self-executed, ihita, all duties, Prabho, O my Lord, jihasasi, giving up, swith, possibly, suhruda, intimate friends, anujivina, living at the mercy of, yesham, of whom, na, nor, cha, and anyat, anyone else, bhavata, your, padambujat, from the lotus feet, Parayanam, dependent, Rajasu, onto the kings, Yojita, engaged in, Hasam, enmity.
Thank you, Mataji. Raju Prabhu translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. Now, when all kings are at enmity with us, Hare Krishna.
Akinchan Prabhu, synonyms.
Yes, Mataji. Api, it, Adya, today, na, us, tvam, you, Vakrita, self-executed, ihitha, all duties, Prabhoho, O my Lord, ihasasi, giving up, swith, probably, shudraha, intimate friends, shuhus, uh, shuhudraha, intimate friends, anujivana, living of the mercy of Yesham, of whom, na, nor, cha, and anyat, anyone else, bhavatha, your padambujat, from the lotus feet, parayanam, dependent, rajasu, unto the kings, yojita, engaged in, amhasam, enmity.
Thank you, Prabhu. Chandramani Prabhu, translation.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. Now, when all kings are at enmity with us.
Thank you, Prabhu. Stapan Prabhu, are you available to read?
Yes, Mataji, I just came back from temple.
Okay.
Synonym. Api if, Adya today, na, us, Tvam you, Swakrita self-executed, Ihita all duties, Prabhu, O my Lord, Jihasasi giving up, Swith possibly, Suhradaha intimate friends, Anu, can you move the cursor? Yeah. Anu Jivina living at the mercy of Yesham, of whom, na, nor, cha, and Anyat, anyone else, Bhavataha, your, Padambujat, from the lotus feet, Parayanam, dependent, Rajasu, unto the kings, Yojita, engaged in, Amhasam, enmity. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you can continue translation now.
Okay. Translation. O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. You are leaving us today, though we are completely depend on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. Now when all kings are at enmity with us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Is there anybody pending to read? I think everyone is done. Lalitman Prabhu, all are done, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Okay. So please repeat these words after me. There are three tongue twisters here. Please repeat these words after me. Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite
hita.
Svakrite hita. Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Svakrite hita.
Suhridonu jeevinaha.
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 Yojitam hasam.
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 Yojitam
hasam.
Yojitam hasam.
Yojitam hasam.
Yojitam hasam. Yojitam hasam. Okay. Now please repeat after me our regular way pattern of reading, reciting. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho. Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha.
Jiha suhrido
jeevinaha.
Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha.
Jiha
Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha.
Jiha
Sasisvedonu jeevinaha.
Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha.
Jiha
Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha.
Jiha
Jiha sasisvet suhrudo nu jeevinaha. येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजा येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजा येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् पारायणं राजसुयोजिताम्भसाम् ओके रा के बाद there is a hyphen. Okay, rajasu, you should split that word. Okay, parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. Okay, parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam.
ఇది పారాయణమా పారాయణమా?
Am I spelling it? Parayanam? I'm sorry. Parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. I'm sorry, Mata. No, parayanam. Parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. Parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. Parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. Parayanam rajasuyojitamhasam. Okay. So when you remembered me, it is whether it is Parayanam or Parayanam. I could remember something, Mataji, which is based on my past. Please don't laugh, but then that is how I am. See, actually, when this recitation is not this recitation, that is one more other recitation, Gajendra recitation, when that was taught to us, okay, and I am consider me the worst of the students in my batch, okay. So my counselor, actually, he was teaching me all these shlokas, you know. He was many times repeating in the same way, but my repetition, you know, my recitation didn't change. I am always reciting in a different way only. So at last, you know, he came to my voice actually. You know, he came to my tune. So one of the other devotee who was my friend, Ajay Krishna, he was telling, Prabhuji, you know, should it be read like this or that? You know, like the way you are reading along with Lalit or Lakshman. So then it was utter humility. I really got humbled because I couldn't learn it properly the way he was reciting. So I begged sorry to him that I asked him, Prabhuji, please pray for me so that I get recitations properly. So my counselor, like I should not name him. So he told me something, Prabhu, please you also pray for me that I should not change like you. I should not change to your voice. No, my tune should not change. Please you pray for me. So I'm more humble than that. That was what I am actually. Myself and one more Prabhuji, Shastra Chakshu. We were very bad at recitations. So at times I might change my tune, Mataji. So please help me up. You know, if I am reading and reciting in a wrong way, please correct me. You know, I made my counselor's tune change. You know, that's the caliber which I had actually. But somehow or other, you people engaged me in this service. Now you should notice it is your responsibility to make me recite properly. Hare Krishna. Now you can go with the individual practice. No, I will go with the 2 lines and then you will go with the individual practice. Okay. It's already 9:07. I'm sorry. So I have a caliber to change even my counselor's tune also. So now you can understand who is sitting in front of you and who is making you learn the shlokas. So please be careful. Huh? Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabhu jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha. येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितां हसाम्. येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितां हसाम्. येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितां हसाम्. Okay. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabhu jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha. Yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam.
Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita
Now you can go individually. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha yesham na chanyad bhavatah padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam.
Hare Krishna. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivinaha isham na chanyad bhavatah padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam. Thank you.
Sandhya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Apyadyanastvam svakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivana esam na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam.
Lavanya Mataji.
Apyadyanastvam sakrite hita prabho jihasasi svet suhrudo nu jivina yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam.
Radhika Mataji, are you available to do the shloka?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. अप्यत्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हितप्रभो जिहाससि स्वेत् सुहृदोऽनुजीविना येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितामसाम्। हरे कृष्ण।
अप्यत्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हितप्रभो जिहाससि स्वेत् सुहृदोऽनुजीविनः येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजितामसाम्. Rajaprabhu, can you do? Rajaprabhu is not there. Akinjan Prabhu?
अप्यज्यनस्त्वं स्वगृहीत प्रभो जिहाससि स्वेत् सुहृदोऽनुजीवना येषां न चान्यद् भवता पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसुयोजीवतः सम्.
Chandramouli Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో
ప్రభు ఒక్కసారి స్టార్ట్ చేయండి మీరు. అప్యర్థనస్త్వం అట్లా కాదు ఇలా ప్రభు. అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభు.
అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో.
లేదు ప్రభు, కొంచెం తేడా వస్తుంది.
అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో.
అది తర్వాత వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ. అది సెకండ్ టైం వస్తుంది. ఫస్ట్ టైం అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో కిందకి వెళ్తాను అనమాట. ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ డౌన్. లేటర్ ఇట్ విల్ గో అప్. ట్రై దట్.
అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో జిహాససి స్వేత్ సుహృదోऽనుజీవినః येषां न चान्यद् भवता पदाम्बुजात् परायणं राजसु योजितां हशाम्.
Yes, Prabhuji. అయితే ఏషాం న చాన్యత్ అది కరెక్ట్ వచ్చింది. దట్ ఈస్ ద ట్యూన్ ఫర్ దట్ సెకండ్ దిస్ వన్. బట్ ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఇట్ ఇస్ అప్యత్యనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో. కింద వైపు తీసుకోండి ఆర్ కలిసి చెప్పండి, అప్పుడు మేబీ మీకు తెలుస్తుంది. అప్యత్యనస్త్వం అప్యత్యనస్త్వం నాతో పాటు చేయండి ప్రభుజీ. అప్యత్యనస్త్వం
స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో.
యా, కొంచెం బెటర్. ఇంకా నాతో పాటే చేయండి, అంటే అది వేరేగా వెళ్ళకూడదు అనమాట. నా పైకి వెళ్ళకూడదు, నా కిందకి ఎత్తుకోడు. అప్యర్థనస్త్వం
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 అప్యర్థనస్త్వం.
నాతో పాటు చేయండి ప్రభుజీ. ఇద్దరం ఒకేసారి స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో అప్యర్థనస్త్వం స్వకృతే హిత ప్రభో జిహాససి స్వేత్ సుహృదోऽనుజీవినః येषां न चान्यद् भवतः पदाम्बुजात्
పరాయణం రాజసు యోజితాం హశామ్.
Sapan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Apyadyanastvам swakrite hita prabhu jihasasi svet suhrido nujivina yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, all I can.
Thank you so much. So what does this shloka means? So this is the first speaking of Kunti Maharani about passing the message properly. Are you living now, Krishna? Till now you made us all these things happen, and are you leaving us now when everyone is at enmity with us? Is it Krishna? No, she's asking in a introvert way. Krishna, ఇవన్నీ చేసి ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళిపోతున్నావు కృష్ణ నువ్వు. This is how she asks. Okay, and from tomorrow on she will say, if you are not there, what is the value of this world? So this is what she will say in other 3 or 4 shlokas to come. Okay, we will do it from tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, quick question. Ipudu ఈ టైంలో where is Krishna going? Is it like the war is over or where is it right now?
Yes, done. War is done, and Krishna is telling to Arjuna that Arjuna, my purpose of coming here is solved. Now I will leave. So there are many people who will console, who will tell Krishna to stay for some time more, but he won't do it. He will be resolved because he says, I have 16,108 there. I have my own family who needs me. Okay, so please let me go. That's what they, and these people couldn't convince. But this is a turning point where her prayers will convince him to stay for some more time, and not this. And he will go back. And after going back, he will see Yudhishthira Maharaj. And after seeing Yudhishthira, he will say, Arey, why are you repenting? So the war will be over, Prabhu. Now no one will be happy that we have achieved victory. No one will be happy. So this is what actually dharmic war would be like. Even the people who killed the opponents are not happy because they felt that, Arey, itna, why Lord made me kill so many people? Maybe I have a lot of, ichha to control this material world. This is what Yudhishthira Maharaj is like. Actually, it is a more burden for Krishna to console Yudhishthira Maharaj because he is dharma. He is a personification of dharma, and he was thinking that, अरे मैं अपने राज्य के लिए क्या ही नहीं किया मैंने, मतलब क्या कर दिया मैंने. So that's what he was thinking. So then he will console and he will make them all take to Bhishma. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj will get consoled. Of course, after listening to Kunti's prayer, Krishna will have a second thought. Okay, maybe I should stay for some more time. That second thought was bought by this lady, humble lady. And after that, he will see Yudhishthira. अरे मैंने इतना कुछ किया इसके लिए ताकि ये राज करे, धर्म राज करे, और ये अभी मतलब he is not happy. So what he will do, he will make all of these people dress like a king and take them to his other devotee who is also Mahajan, Bhishma. Then there comes the Vishnu Sahasranama and many other things, Bhishma Stuti. Then that is a complete different chapter only altogether. It's a flow. We will come to all these chapters in Bhagavatam. Only thing is,
but 2 questions, Prabhuji. Bhishma has already left the body in the battlefield, right? When he was pierced with all those arrows. So that's one question. Second question is, the reason why I asked if the battle is over or not is because here in the last line it is said, now when all kings are at enmity with us. So now they have already won, right? Where are the kings against them now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, see, it's not a Western kind of dominance which Vedic kings used to have. Wherever Vedic kings used to, defeat the other kings, they generally keep their children on the throne. And the child king or the prince is entitled to have an enmity on this king who defeated him. That is the freedom which was given, Prabhu. So the other 11 Akshohinis which these people destroyed are still enemies. Yeah, they lost the battle. Okay, and they lost the war, but the enmity will be there, na? Shalya will be always Shalya only. And their kingdom, Prabhu, every kingdom has its own tracts. Like the king, he will have his own style of ruling. Now his style of ruling is in the mode of ignorance, that the whole Rajya will be in the mode of ignorance only, na? But if it is going towards complete adharma or unvedic, then this Chakravarti will come and destroy, not destroy. He will keep a new king, or he will keep most eligible person as a king there. Understood, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah, they might be defeated, Prabhu, but the enmity would be there. Some in one form or other, next generation would come and fight. That is always there. Or else, how would you think that before this Mahabharata war, there was an eternal enmity between Kuru and Panchala? Do you know that? Panchala kings are always in enmity with Kuru. But that doesn't make them not to give their daughter to him, to Arjuna. Panchala is who? Panchala is, Panchala's daughter is our own Draupadi. She was given to Arjuna because Arjuna's qualities are good. So enmity would be there, Prabhu. At the same time, if there is any connections, we can connect. That is also there. That is how mature they are.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I'll have to log off the call.
Yeah, please. Everyone will leave it today. Okay. Any more doubts, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Ante inko question adiganu. Bhishma Pitama already battlefield lo he leaves his body kada. So you are saying that now Yudhishthira will be taken to Bhishma Pitama. So that's why I was.
No. He will not leave the body, Prabhu. He is sleeping on this arrow bed.
Oh, still?
Yeah. He will be alive. He can leave his body on his own will. That is the boon which he has. So after giving Bhishma Stuti, he will leave the body in front of Krishna.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Any more question, Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, you can please conclude the call, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद बुक रीडिंग की जय। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.